Hi, everyone, and welcome to our real estate coffee shop, coffee time, coffee chat room. We're so excited to be here. And of course, we have Sherry Corbitt here, second time around. So thank you very much, Sherry, for joining us and for, helping me run this meeting, host this meeting. We're going to be talking today about the interest increase that is looming this year. We're still waiting to find out when it's coming, but the signs are there and we've been told. So everyone is wondering, what is the situation in this case with impact on the real estate market, impact on the buyers, and just overall day-to-day operation of real estate agents and people's lives, because obviously that means an increase in cost. So, Sherry, why don't you tell a little bit about yourself, because not everyone has seen the previous coffee chats, and give a short introduction, and then I'll do the same, and then we can start having a conversation.
Absolutely. So thanks for having me on. My name is Sherry Corbitt. I'm a mortgage broker in Durham region, but I serve all of Ontario. I have a team of three and I have agents of 9. So we are a large group serving the Durham region, but we spread out to Barrie and Niagara Falls and all over Ontario. I've been a broker for 14 years. I counted that the other day. I was like, 14 years. Holy moly. Love what I do. And yeah, I'm glad to be on here. So thank you for having me. And anybody who wants to find me, you can find me at on the internet at mortgagesindurham.com.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Sherry. And for those that have not met me before, I am Irina Roudenko with Remax Jazz. I'm a Durham and the GTA agent. And really my job is to help people in their transition in life, whether it's upsizing, whether it's downsizing, whether it's selling for the most amount of money and moving somewhere completely different, and making sure that your goals are followed and fulfilled. So that's my job, and of course I love what I do, otherwise I wouldn't be here. So so it's interesting what we're seeing right now in the market. And as I'm sure a lot of people that are watching it, you have seen prices just go up and up and up, and really it comes down to the available homes in the market. So we simply don't have enough homes available. One interesting thing that I always hear from people as I'm chatting with them and connecting with different people, different individuals, is, well, what does that mean for buyers at the end of the day? Does it mean that our grandkids, our kids are not going to be able to afford a home? And in certain situations it does, in certain situations it doesn't. Actually, if you look at some of the previous coffee chats, we discussed this topic specifically for first-time home buyers, and it's a great piece of information. But basically it comes down to and I'm sure Sherry can attest to that, being open to different options and being realistic in what you can afford, and having a plan behind you and following on that plan. So like I said, if you want to know more for you specifically, feel free to reach out to me or Sherry directly. But yeah, the prices are rising, but I have to say at the end of the day, it really does depend on personal situation. Now with the interest rates going up, I'm gonna let Sherry actually discuss that. What are the costs associated with that? And what does it really mean for buyers, right? Because at the end of the day, for buyers, what matters is their monthly cost. That's what's gonna make a difference for them. However much, yes, we do get scared and concerned about prices. Really, it comes down to your cash flow. So, Sherry, what does it mean for the buyer, an increase in the interest rate? What does it look like?
Okay, so overall, the interest rate raising is not going to affect somebody's approval because, love it or hate it, the government a couple of years ago brought in what was called the stress test, which means that even if your rate's going to be here, you have to qualify on a rate that's up here. So they were making sure, they were trying to be very proactive in case the rates went up, that people could qualify at a higher rate, even if they were only going to pay this. What that basically means is it's not going to affect your qualification rate unless the benchmark, that stress test rate, goes up. So you can still afford the same amount of mortgage even if the interest rates go up. And they have gone up. I think they are probably about where they're going to stay for a little bit. That's my personal opinion. You have to take the advice you get from the media and from the banks who are out there with a bit of a grain of salt, because media, my previous career was a journalist prior to mortgages. And the fact is that bad news leads, and it's more sensational to say rates are going up, 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 and to put that fear mongering in than might be the reality. So yes, rates might take a little bit of a move up, but I don't think you're ever going to see 6% interest rates. Let's be honest, we're at a very, very all-time low for interest rates. Mm-hmm. But what does that mean? So let's talk math. If rates went up by 0.25, so if today your 5-year fixed rate was say 2.99, and they went up to 3.24, so they went up 25 points, that would equate to $6 bi-weekly each $100,000 of your mortgage. So $6 bi-weekly for every $100,000 of your mortgage. So if you had a $400,000 mortgage and the rates went up, and by the time you were able to lock in your fixed rate, it was now at 3.24 versus today's rate of 2.99, that would be a bi-weekly increase of $24. So it's not going to kill you. You might just have to go to Starbucks a little less, but and it's not going to affect your qualification rate because you're still qualifying at the higher rate, the stress test. And again, love it or hate it, it's here to stay. We got to work around it. But that's the fixed rate. I want to take a moment and talk about the variable rate, because the variable rate is, quite frankly, sexy. I'm just in love with it. So the variable rate right now for the average mortgage would be about 1.45. And the fixed rate for a mortgage right now is about 2.99. So it is double, more than double the variable rate, the fixed rate to the variable rate. And people get panicky with variable rate. The concerns that come out, or that we have to address is, but what if my payments go up? Okay, that's good. We're going to address that. We're going to show some slides in a minute. Some lenders, the payments do go up. So if the variable rate, which means that if the Bank of Canada moves the prime rate, which it will move over a course of 5 years, it's going to have to take some kind of movement. And I don't believe that movement will be down because we're already at a very low prime rate. Yes, your payment would go up. So if it was at 1.45 and the interest rate went up by a quarter point, which historically in the entire existence of the variable rate, it's only ever gone up by a 0.25. The reason it takes small incremental moves up as opposed to big ones is because people would lose their minds if it jumped up too much. The economy cannot take that. So when the prime rate goes up, I will put money on the fact that it'll go up in small little increments. And historically, it's only ever been 0.25. So we're going to get to that in a minute. So if you're at 1.45 and it goes up, now you're at 1.70. Does your payment go up? Yes, it'll go up slightly. But here's the key thing. At 1.45 variable, today, that's what you lock in because you buy your home, or you're at 2.99 fixed, even if it went up to 1.7, even if it went up to 1.95, even if it went up to 2, it's never going to get up to, or it's going to take quite a long time to get to that 2.99 that you started at. So you might as well take it as long as you can, as low as it can, and just live with that. But if payment's an issue, if you're like, but I'm a budgeter, Sherry, like I need to know my numbers. I can't sleep at night if I think my rate's going to go up. And I'm worried about, that extra $6 on a payment. That's fine. That's okay to have that type of personality. I appreciate that personality. I have people in my life who can't live like that. We can look at lenders such as TD who does not change the payment. So what happens is, say your payment is, for easy math, say your payment's $1,000 and your variable rate is 145 and it goes up, and say it's gone up a couple times, now you're at like 210 or something. The payment stays at $1,000. Just more of your payment of $1,000 goes towards the interest versus the principal that it used to. So it's kind of the best of both worlds. You're getting the lowest rate possible, but the peace of mind that your rate or your payment is not going to change, and you don't have to panic and watch the news about, did they raise it? Did they not raise it? Did they raise it? Doesn't matter. It's your payment's still $1,000. And that gives a lot of people a lot of assurance. Nice. Irina, if you wouldn't mind, could you share the screen that I gave you? I want to show something. We do this calculation for people. Now, I've been in mortgages 14 years, and I am only in my very first variable mortgage because as a mortgage agent or broker, I can't be in a product that I'm not supportive of. So I am now in a variable mortgage. I love it. And this sheet here, okay, so here, I love this. This is from one of our lenders. They provide this cool little calculator for us. So what you're looking at is if your mortgage was $600,000 and you had a 30-year amortization, and today we gave you a fixed rate of $299, that would make your monthly payments approximately $2,520. And that's the fixed side. If you go to the middle of the screen where it says the variable options, so the variable rate, the prime rate is 2.45. Stay where you are for a sec. And the discounted rate is prime -1. So you are at the rate of 145. Like I mentioned, we're looking at 299 versus 145. Your payment is instead $2,055. So that's a pretty big difference. That's almost a $500 difference per month. But what's cool about this chart is that it allows you to be like, but I think the rates are going to go up, which I agree with you. I believe the rates will go up. But I don't think they're going to go up in large chunks, and I do not believe at all that they will go up a lot. But let's be really aggressive and say the rate's going to go up, and it's going to go up every 6 months for the entire time I have my mortgage. So if you could just scroll down a little bit. What I've done in this chart is we have put at month 6, a 0.25 increase, at month 12, a 0.25 increase, at month 18, and so on. So we have put in the chart, what happens, chart, if I do take the variable and it goes up 9 times while I have this mortgage? What does that look like? So Irina, if you could go to the summary button at the very bottom, I love this chart. It shows in black and white that even if the variable rate goes up 9 times, well, you have this mortgage for 5 years, you are still in a better position by almost $12,000, by $11,890. It is more beneficial for you to take the variable mortgage at 145 and let it go up 9 times than start today at 299. So why would you start at 299? I am not doing fixed mortgages. They're just, I mean, I will if somebody absolutely wants to, because I'm here to guide, not dictate what you do. But but everybody's taking variable. Because when you look at this and you go, well, yeah, 9 times is a lot of times for the variable to go up. And you're still ahead by $12,000. And if you're worried about the payment, we've got lenders we can fix that, where you don't have to worry about, oh, did my payment go up $6? The other thing is variable rate does not, and this is a myth, it doesn't go up 365 days of the year. It's not boop, 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 boop. The variable rate is set by the Bank of Canada, and they only meet certain times of the year. So when they meet, they have a meeting of whether they're going to increase the rate or not. So the one meeting was held in January. They decided not to increase the rate. The banks, the news was not forecasting that. They were like, it's going up, but it didn't go up. And people were shocked. But then immediately they got on the bandwagon and said, oh, the next meeting's in March. It's going up. And yeah, it might. But you just need to chill your jets and go talk about something else in the news, because it didn't go up in January. I gotta tell you, like, people, it stresses people out. It stresses the economy out. And of course, the news people are like, but we had to report,
we had to make a news out of it.
Right? I'm so sorry. It's my opinion that so no, it did not go up in January. It did not go up every day between January and now. but the next meeting is in the end of March. And will it go up? It could, absolutely could. It has, it's been this way for a while. It's been at this low rate. So yeah, expect it to maybe go up in March or not. Who knows? I don't have a crystal ball.
Yeah.
Anyways.
So actually I just had a question here that came up. Do you know what are the dates for the rest of the year for them to meet? Do you have an idea?
Yes, we do. I don't have it off the top of my head, but you know what? We will, when we post this, we'll put all the dates out for you.
Okay.
The next one is in March. And yeah, Sunday morning, I just can't call that up, but you can Google the Bank of Canada prime rate movement. Traditionally, it's 4 to 6 times a year that they meet, depending on the need of the economy. You have to remember that the fixed or the variable rate is tied a little bit more to the global economy. And until the global economy gets their act together, which quite frankly, I don't foresee happening anytime soon, we can't afford for it to jump up too much.
Yeah.
So I truly think variable is the way to go. Not only are you saving today and for probably the length of your term, there's another really key component to variable I want to point out for somebody looking at their mortgage options. A large portion of people refinance before the end of a 5-year term, but 5-year terms are what we are on average take. So either you do a refinance because you want to do something in the home, you want to move, your family's grown, your job's changed, there's an illness, whatever the situation might be, good or bad, there's a refinance that usually happens. Banks' biggest moneymaker for them is the fixed penalty. This is just gravy money to them. They were hoping to have you for a 5-year term. You want a break and give me $20,000? Yeah, I'll take it. Of course you will. So if majority of Canadians don't make it to a 5-year term and they have to refinance because life happens, good or bad, a variable rate is always just 3 months interest. So it is a minimal payment. You will never hear of a payment that's 15, 20, 36. I had a $36,000 penalty on my desk this week. Like, that's a hard pill to swallow.
Yeah.
That's your equity. Whether the market's gone crazy and you've got lots of equity, that's still a hard pill to swallow. And that's because of fixed. But variable is only 3 months interest. So that's another big factor of why I suggest variable rate.
And it's interesting because the numbers don't lie, but psychologically, a lot of people just don't like the idea of being, locked in, right, in a way, because that gives a lot of security or perception of security. And that's precisely why it's so important to, work with someone like yourself that can actually look at the numbers and let you know the reality of things, because once again, numbers don't lie, right? And when we are making such a huge decision, for most Canadians, their home is their biggest equity, really, and their biggest wealth. It's important to look at the numbers. So thank you very much for sharing that.
Yeah, I might be a little passionate about mortgages.
It's a good thing to be passionate about what you do.
Well, I don't like people having the misconception that variable is this, thing only for really seasoned or, savvy investors.
Yeah. I think you froze.
So even first-time buyers traditionally go fixed because...
You're good. You're back.
But traditionally, even first-time buyers go fixed because, I just want to set it. I just want to forget it. We really like the product like TD has, which allows you to benefit from the lower interest rate, so more money in your pocket, but at a payment that you're not losing sleep over because you're not sure if it's going to change.
Speaking of first-time home buyers, I'm not seeing a lot of them anymore in the market, specifically for Durham. A lot of the buyers right now for us are second, third-time home buyers. So they're basically selling something in the GTA and they're coming into the area. What are you seeing from your side?
I'm seeing the first-time buyers starting to lose a lot of faith in the fact that you are hard pressed to find something, under $600,000 that doesn't have a large condo fee with it. So you had mentioned at the beginning, and I had made a note, I wanted to circle back to this, about how parents and grandparents are like, are my kids ever going to own a home? A a lot of people are getting assistance from the bank of mom and dad or the bank of grandparents as gifted down payment to help them get to 20%. If you're at 20% down payment, then that really opens up your options for lenders, because we don't have to follow that stress test I started the conversation with.
Mhm.
If you have less than 20%, there's a lot of government regulations and rules around the mortgage, and everybody has to play by those rules in the same sandbox. Once you have 20% down, there's a ton of other lender options. You can extend your amortization to make the payments more affordable. We can look at credit unions who don't have to follow the same rules. So there's a lot of times that a first-time buyer is going to need that bigger down payment, which means it's help mom and dad are helping. So if you're watching this and you are a parent or grandparent and you're thinking, yeah, I think my 25-year-old is probably going to need some help, you may want to consider potentially, if you're in the situation of being able to help them out with generously with the down payment, of considering putting that money in an RSP for them, so that they can access the money through the RSP for the first time buyers program. But it'll also help boost their down payment because they're going to get a bigger tax refund. I just ran this for one family where the parents wanted to gift $35,000 to their son, and he's not purchasing till June, so we have lots of time. And I said, okay, well, if you take the same $35,000, put it in an RSP, his tax refund will be almost $7,500. So their $35,000 contribution, which is very generous, actually in pocket to this guy is going to be $42,500. So they've increased their down payment by 25%. They've increased what their gift is by about 25% because they gave it to him to put in an RSP to get the tax refund. So it's a little bit high, it's
this information is gold right there.
Because if you're going to be doing it for your kids anyways, and even if it's not this year, even if you're like, well, oh no, he's not going to buy this year, he's looking at next year.
The money is there. The money is there,
and it's safe. You're not handing him $35,000.
I was gonna say, a lot of grandparents and parents that are helping out, they're always wondering, oh my God, is the money still going to be there by then? So this is a great opportunity to make sure it still is.
No, I think it's a pretty smart move to booster the down payment, the refund that he's going to get, and in this particular situation, and it really is something I wanted to bring to the table. It's a little, ninja marketing or mortgaging, but it totally works. If you're going to be gifting, perhaps consider gifting early and into their RSP, which makes it safe. They can't withdraw it, can't go to Vegas on it, and then it gives them a bigger tax refund.
Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you very much for that. Anything like, what is your expectation on the real estate market in general with upcoming interest rate increase? Do you feel that there's going to be a major shift? What is your thoughts?
Sorry, I dropped the pen.
No worries.
So this is my opinion. I'm very much attached to the Vancouver market. We have some great brokers out there that we meet with weekly. We're always talking about Ontario versus Alberta versus Quebec versus Vancouver. And the fact is, Vancouver had this insane, crazy increase in around 2014 to 2016.
Yeah, I remember
Everybody
that.
said it was a bubble. Well, and everybody said it's a bubble, it's going to come down, it's not, you're blah, 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 blah. And the fact is, it didn't. And Ontario is traditionally behind Vancouver in our trend, and then Alberta's behind us. So I'm just adding that because now Alberta, just this week, I have 2 clients moving to Alberta, and both of them are like, there's bidding wars. There's never been bidding wars. I'm like, yeah, because you're 2 years behind Ontario. So I do not foresee the prices coming back down. I hope that they level. This is insane. I'm happy for anybody who's already in the market and all the equity they have. And I hope they level, but I do not ever foresee them coming back down.
Yeah.
I myself have been thinking about a cottage for the last 3 years and hoping that it's going to come down.
It's not happening.
I don't think it's going to happen. I thought I had a little bit of logic in the fact that people bought all these cottages because of COVID and having to stay home. And then they're going to be like, oh, I'm not really a cottage person. Yeah, no, I'm wrong. It's, the best time to buy real estate is yesterday. So the second best time is today.
Yeah.
And that's just how it is.
Yeah, you know what, I have to agree with you because with everything that I'm seeing in the different reports, whether it's the real estate board, whether it's just looking at our statistics, the issue is not the cost. And like you showed, you know, the cost, the interest rate increase cost is not, you know, crazy. It's still very affordable. So, you know, on a month to month basis, it's not going to make a big difference. And again, the issue is the supply. So there was a report that came out last week by the real estate board, and they were saying, you know, the only way to make changes in the prices of the market is by increasing supply of homes. Unfortunately, you know, when it comes to homes that are already built, that's what you got. So the only thing you can do is boost construction. But that has been happening extremely, extremely slow. And the reality is COVID and the restrictions that we have, you know, affecting the supply chain, affecting the costs and everything, is
Mm-hmm.
making it really, really, really hard. Right. So, you know, I have to agree with you on that. But hopefully, you know, we are going to see some leveling off for sure. And that just supports, you know, once again, the thought that now is the better time than tomorrow. Because even if it does level off, you're still not going to be gaining, you know, a lot by postponing. Your likelihood of getting into a more expensive market is higher, um, if anything. So, you know, but again, you know, it is a personal opinion. So, you know, I wish I had the crystal ball, but
Yeah.
we don't, right? So, it's just something that I'm seeing happening in the market. And for people to really see a difference, it has to come down substantially,
Mm-hmm.
substantially. And that's just not happening. So,
You know, one trend you got me thinking. One trend I think we're going to see. So I'm going to put my prediction out. I think we're going to see more multifamily units. I think we're going to see more generational homes. Which really, so we're a generational home. I am called a sandwich generation because I have the children upstairs and the parents in the basement. I am a sandwich generation, and I am by no means the only person out there. I think that's what we're going to see. We're going to see it where you've got the kids at home, and then you've got the 40 something,
yeah, yeah.
and then they've got the parents in an in law suite. It's just going to make homes more affordable. So
Yeah.
I do think we're going to see on the bigger homes, you're going to start seeing a lot more in law suites, a lot more of that type of demand.
Hmm.
So,
Hmm. Yeah, and actually, I have to say we already kind of started seeing that end of last year. And again, you know, it's one of those things that personally I think it's a great change by looking to, you know, have your older parents live with you and take care of them instead of, you know, sending them off somewhere else. You know, it's because of what we've seen in the old people's home, right? In the retirement residences over the past couple of years. So a lot of kids that are parents like yourself, right? They're thinking, well, why don't I have my parents, my older parents, live with us downstairs? So for sure, we're already started seeing that. And I think we're going to see more and more of that for sure.
yeah, I definitely think that's going to be a hot commodity in the future. Is going to be homes that can be converted to duplexes, um, and with accessibility. So we particularly moved to this particular home for the whole reason that we needed a walkout basement with
Mm.
a accessible staircase for a chairlift, and that was in 2013. So we were
Mhm.
already ahead of this trend, but I think
Yeah.
and there is benefits because you know what, the retirement homes, COVID aside, if somebody needs that type of level of care, of course,
Yes,
they got
of
to go where they
course.
need to go.
Yeah.
But even just for the average family and property taxes, so I'll speak to mine. My property taxes are like $9,800 a year. That's a lot.
Hmm.
And if my parents are going to live next door and pay $9,800, and then we're all going to have hydro, and all have water, and all have Rogers,
Hmm.
and all have, maybe there's some budgeting in there that people can benefit from. So I'm
Hmm.
totally off topic. I just wanted to put my position out there. That's the next thing to
I
do.
appreciate it.
Duplexes.
I appreciate it. But you know what? And actually, it kind of is on topic because it's going to make things more affordable, irrespective of the interest rate increase, right? And it's going to help, maybe paying down the mortgage faster, um, or maybe just a month to month basis and being able to do more with the money. So yeah, it's an interesting trend for sure. Thank you for
Well, it
pointing
also
that
helps with
out.
the down payment, right? So if
Hmm.
somebody's selling and two families are coming together, chances are you're not going in at 5%.
Yeah.
Chances are somebody's selling something that's got some good equity. So the only thing I would recommend, and again, I'm not talking about my personal situation, but the one thing, if that is becoming a trend, is that lawyers are very well versed in what cohabitational agreements look like. Um, I keep going off topic, but for example, if parents are going to live with children and there's another sibling or two siblings, what does that look like for their estate planning? So just get the proper legal advice on what your will look like and the equity that maybe you've helped invest in that home, and then go from there. But it's definitely going to be the way of the future, I think.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I mean, we'll see what the market has in store going forward, but that's I guess we're on the same page there. So thank you so much, Sherry. I really appreciate taking the time to chat with us, and it was very informative. I really appreciate that, and I think it's great for people to see the real numbers, right, and not just talk of feelings or hearsay. Numbers don't lie. So
So, in summary, a 25-point increase in the fixed rate is only $6 per 100,000 of the mortgage. If you have the appetite for it, variable is the winning way to go. And don't necessarily listen to the news. They may have an alternative reason to always be doing doom and gloom and scary tactics.
mm-hmm. Perfect. Thank you so much, Sherry. I really appreciate it. Thank you, everyone, for attending it. I hope you found it very informative. I have a feeling you have. I hear a thank you message over there. And yeah, so just watch out for the next episode of Real Estate Coffee Chat with me, Irina Roudenko with Remax Jazz. And if you ever have questions, feel free to reach out to myself or to Sherry. If you don't have her information, reach out to me and I'll make sure to give that to you. Thank you very much and have a wonderful Sunday.